It's time to unleash the expert. What is he an expert on? Relationships, sex, spirituality, and rediscovering yourself beyond the trauma. Get ready to unleash more purpose, passion, and pleasure in your life. Here's the expert himself, Mr. Brannon Patrick.
Welcome, you guys. It is the Christmas season. I hope you're all getting all decorated and putting up your Christmas trees and all those things. So I'm chopping a tree down in the mountains this year. I got a permit, and it'll probably be kind of like a Charlie Brown tree. We'll see. So those are my favorite kind. So yeah, Merry Christmas. Enjoy the music, the festivities. Spread some good cheer this season. All right, so I'm going to talk about the point of life, the purpose why we're here, and hopefully take a look at it from a different angle that could shift some things for you. I know they have for me a lot as I've made this shift in my life. We oftentimes, the way we're raised, we get in this fixed mindset about what the point of life is and what we're supposed to accomplish here. So there's certain things laid out for us. We're supposed to go down a certain path, do certain things, and have our life look a certain way. So if you don't believe me, just think about it for a second. When you're 5 years old, what do most people do? They go to kindergarten. And then you go into this system where you work on your grades and at school until you graduate high school, and then you graduate college. There's this system that you go through of progression to get a diploma. And that's how we're conditioned to think. We're conditioned to think that it's linear, it's step by step, and then we get a reward at the end. And even the way we're raised in terms of spirituality and religion, a lot of times we're taught this. If I'm good in my life, I do good things, I get this reward. When I die, I'll go to heaven. So it sets up this thing where we're constantly striving to earn it, constantly striving to become something and to be something. And I want to just give another option to consider a little bit, because I believe it's good for your mental health. And I think it's also good for your relationship with yourself and your relationship with God. Where you don't think about life as a destination. And I'm going to give you a formula that helps you live a life of surrender to whatever is, but also a life that fosters a growth mindset mentality that helps you develop gratitude every single day. But you have to get out of this mindset of earning it, of arriving on top of the mountain one day. How many stories have I heard about, like I did all the right things and then I didn't get what I expected? I've heard that a lot. I lived righteously. I did this, I did that, and I ended up never getting married. That's a common one. I worked hard at school and now I have a job that I don't make it hardly any money. What? Like I thought I was supposed to. Now I just have a bunch of school debt and I don't make much money at work, but I got good grades. Stuff like that happens. And it's kind of like, well, the promise was given in maybe in a pretty explicit way, or just kind of implicitly it was inside of us of, if I do these things, then I'll get those things and I will be on top of that mountain. I see it in terms of recovery and relationships a lot. If I do this, then I'm going to have a good marriage. Well, and then they go do those things and their marriage is still really hard. If I do these things, then my addiction is going to go away. And then the addiction doesn't go away. And I think it's a setup to really cause some confusion, some frustration with God, frustration with the nature of this life, is when we have these expectations. We go through the process of thinking that we're going to get them, and then we get something completely different. Life is not about arriving at the end of the tunnel. Life is about the tunnel itself. So it's not about the result, it's about the process. Focus on the process, because this life to the bitter end is a process. This life isn't a destination, it's a dance. And we think about it, when you dance, you're hopefully more in the moment. You're experiencing the music, you're experiencing your partner that you're dancing with. Just the feeling of moving your body, you're in it, you're there. It's not about the result. It's not about getting to the end of the dance and then being like, look how good I danced. It's about feeling what's going on as you dance. Life is a beautiful symphony every single day that's a little bit different. And if we get caught up in destination thinking, then we lose sight of the beauty all around us. So striving to live a life of growth mindset and surrender, I believe, brings ultimate happiness. And I'm going to give you a formula that I believe will bring this happiness into your life and help you live day in and day out in the moment. And it's beautiful. I've experienced it myself, and it's very different than expectation destination thinking. So just a little bit of background. Carol Dweck wrote a book called Growth Mindset. That's awesome. It's a great concept that she teaches in that book. In a nutshell, what it is that we're a lot happier when we don't stay stuck on our fixed mindset, the way things should be. So when we're caught up in all these shoulds and we're waiting for all these things to happen that should happen, sometimes they happen and sometimes they don't. But when we're in a fixed mindset, when they don't happen, we freak out. So like if I have this fixed mindset that when I go home, my children should be nice to me, and I go home and my children aren't nice to me, then I've set myself up for some suffering. I have a fixed mindset that, if I work hard at school, then I should have a high paying job. And then I don't have a high paying job. I've set myself up. I have a fixed mindset that my partner should be a certain way. She should be kind. She should cook me dinner and give me sex and all these things. And what do you know? That's not how it pans out in life. I've now set myself up for some suffering. It's a recipe for rejection of life as it comes to you, unless everything falls into this fixed mindset thing that you've developed just from your life experiences and the things you've been taught. So the growth mindset is much different than the fixed mindset. A growth mindset says, a growth mindset is very curious and open. So as life comes at you, it's, oh, interesting. That's happening. What do I get to learn from this experience? How can I grow from this experience? So as I'm dancing my way through life, I'm able to take it in and notice and learn and grow from anything that happens to me in my life. If bad things happen, with a growth mindset, I'll look at this and say, what opportunity is there? This is actually a good thing because I can grow. With a fixed mindset, I'll look at it and say, this is awful. This isn't how it's supposed to be. I reject that. Growth mind or fixed mindset destroys relationships with God. It causes depression, anxiety, suicide, addiction, all kinds of things. So let's talk about 3 things that I believe help you live in this place of acceptance, surrender, and growth. These are my 3 rules. But I want to illustrate these rules and where I learned them on a personal level. I want to tell you a story. So when I served a 2-year mission, I learned Tagalog in the Philippines. And I went to the missionary training center, and I was put with this companion who was brilliant at the language. He was just really smart. He's one of my best friends now. I love the guy. But his brilliance in the language reminded me of all of my inadequacies, because every day as he was just learning and excelling and just doing well, it reflected back to me of how much I wasn't learning. And I didn't know like how, if my pace at learning the language was good or bad or whatever, but I just knew I wasn't as good as him. I got over to the Philippines and I sputtered my way through trying to speak to people at first, and it was a shit show. Like it was a mess. I remember people just like looking at me confused and then laughing in my face as I'm trying to speak this very foreign language to me. And the frustration started to mount. There I was in this foreign country trying to speak to people, being laughed at every single day. And I was wondering, when was I going to get it? When was I going to actually understand what people were saying? When was I going to actually be able to speak to people? And anyone who's learned a foreign language can probably relate. And I also thought my time is ticking. I only have 2 years here. I want to learn this fast. And I don't want to spend the whole time learning a language. And I started to really kind of get stressed and depressed about how it wasn't just coming to me. And I decided, I remember writing in my journal one night, I wrote these 3 rules down, like something, I had a break. I remember I went to church one day and I didn't understand anything anyone was saying. And I was thinking, I've been here for a few months now. What's the point? Why am I here? This is awful. This sucks. And I remember having this breaking point and getting to this feeling of either I got to be done here or I need to change the way I'm thinking. And I realized I got to change the way I'm thinking. So this is what I'm going to do. Instead of focusing on how good you are at the language, focus on 3 things. So number 1, focus on just doing your best. If you do your best, that's all you can do. So, get your study in every day. I mean, you don't have to study 24/7, but speak up when you have opportunities to speak up. Get your studies in, like just do your best. And I think we think a lot of times that we always can do more. And we don't give ourselves the leeway to say that was good. That was my best. Sometimes with our spouses or at work, we feel constant inadequacy. Imposter syndrome is epidemic. And we don't stop and say, you know what? I am doing my best. I'm okay as I am. I think most computer programmers think they're imposters, meaning that if people really knew how smart they were, then they wouldn't like trust them to do the job they're doing. What's crazy about that is look at the things that they're creating. It's incredible. Yet they're sitting back in their shame thinking, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. So back to my story, I decided I'm just going to do my best. If I pronounce things right, great. If I pronounce things wrong, great. I did my best. That's all I can do. Do your best, let go of the rest. That's all I can do. Okay. There is such freedom in giving yourself permission to not be perfect and to accept that your best is not perfect. So do my best. The important part of that is actually the back side of it, of surrender, not the front side of it, of effort. So because if I just focus on I should do more, then I'm stuck in that fixed mindset. But if I actually get my place to letting go and appreciating the efforts that I did give, wow, now I'm resonating in a whole different place. I feel pretty good about what I did. Who defines your best? Do mom and dad? Does God? You? I'll just tell you this. You'll know you're doing your best because your heart and your soul will tell you. Your mind won't tell you. Your mind will be all over the place. Guilt trips, shoulds, ego-y stuff. Why aren't you like them? Look at what they did. Theirs is way better than yours. And you're saying you did your best? Your heart and your soul will know. You'll feel at peace. Hey, I went out and spoke today, the best that I possibly could. And so speaks a lot better than me, but I feel good about the effort I gave today. I did my best. That feels good. And I'm not comparing myself to anybody. I'm not trying to get to the top of a mountain. I did my best. I'm going to do my best today as a father and as a husband. And I only have control over me. So my wife might hate me today. My kids might whatever today. I'm doing my best. And that's all I can do. That's it. I'm doing my best today at my work. I'm doing my best right here in this podcast right now. And it might be awesome. It might suck. This is my best. Let go of the rest. So the letting go side of doing your best is just as or more important than the pushing it on the effort side of things. Now, I'm not giving you a pass to say just be lazy, because do your best actually means do your best. Like, go for it. And surrender the outcome. It's just about doing your best. Okay, the next thing. I'm going to do my best, but I'm going to do it with an attitude and a belief in myself. So the next one is believe in yourself. So I'm going to do my best. I'm going to believe in myself. So whatever I'm doing, whether I'm learning a language, starting a business, figuring out relationships, I'm going to go into that thing believing that I can, believing that I'm capable, believing that there is a way. And if I believe opposite of that, that I can't, that I won't, that I suck, then that's what I'm going to create. If I look at my companion or whoever's learning the language and I say, look at him learning it, it means I can't. It means that then sets me up to fail. So I'm going to believe in myself. I might suck at this thing. I might be really bad at it, but I'm going to believe that I can learn. I'm going to believe that I can grow. So as I give it my all, do my best, I'm going to believe in myself. You want to be realistic. You want to operate in reality. I'm not saying live in denial. I'm not saying like, I'm going to believe in myself that I'll grow another foot and be 6'9" or whatever. That's not reality. Okay. But believing in myself would look like I'm going to believe that I'm okay as I am and that I can accomplish a lot of good things being the height that I am. So you operate in that reality and you believe in yourself while you're doing your best. So what this does is it gives you a lens to look through of self and progression and growth that is one that will overcome obstacles, one that will be resilient, and one that will persevere through pain and difficulty and struggle. And in that belief in self, as you're resonating in that confidence, you persevere through those things, you get the learning. So you don't get the outcome. You might get the outcome that you want, you might not, but you get the learning, you get the growth. So if I'm out there speaking this language, believing in myself, again and again, doing the best that I possibly can, I'm not going to give up. I'm just going to keep going. And as I struggle, that's where the growth comes. And the growth might be ending up speaking the language perfectly. The growth might be learning how to deal with not speaking the language perfectly. The growth's going to be what it is. But through that struggle, I'm going to get that growth. That requires believing in myself, or I'm going to quit and I'm not going to get the growth. I'm going to get caught in the fixed mindset of I can't, I'm not getting the outcome that I want, therefore I quit. Okay. So believe that you can, believe in yourself. Okay. The last one of the three, I think, is maybe the most important. It's my favorite one. And that's to have fun. So if I'm just serious and I'm just learning and I'm growing and I'm just in this refiner's fire all day long, I'm going to get burned out. But life is a dance and dancing is fun. So I'm going to stop and smell the roses. I'm going to notice the sunshine on my face. I'm going to smile with people. I'm going to tell some really bad jokes. We're going to laugh. We're going to play. We're going to, as we stumble, as we fall, we're going to laugh at ourselves. Because man, it's clumsy and it's funny. And why not have some fun with it? Have a sense of humor with yourself. Make opportunities for fun, because living in this moment is what matters. I heard some really bad news this week about a young girl diagnosed with cancer. Somebody who's at the prime of her life, and death really is not on the radar. Like, that's not what should be happening right now, or an option, and hopefully that's not what happens for her. But the point is this, is if I'm always waiting for the destination and I'm not stopping and having fun along the way until I get to my destination, my life might be over before I actually stop and enjoy it. So have some fun. If you can laugh through life and laugh through the growth that you experience, laugh through the stumbling that happens. I have a business partner who is so good at this. She's so good at like looking at herself and laughing and growing, and she can stumble, but then she can get right back up. Again, it creates this resiliency to life. It doesn't shut you down when you're able to have fun through it. If you approach life with dread, if every time you stumble or falter, you just get depressed and shut down, then you're not going to stay resilient and you're not going to stay in that growth mindset. I woke up a couple months ago with this idea that I was going to remodel my bathroom. And so I went and I grabbed the sledgehammer and I demoed this bathroom down to almost the studs. There's like a toilet in the studs now. And our life plans changed and everything. And now remodeling the bathroom is not what we want to do. But I've already demoed the bathroom. So I was thinking about it today and I'm like, well, I woke up that morning and I thought I was doing my best. I was like working hard and it was a giant mistake. It's kind of funny. Like I'm gonna have to put in a wall that I tore out. It's just like the exact same wall that I tore out. I'm gonna have to put in. Um, I could be pissed about this. I could be depressed, or I can laugh. Um, so that things like that happen all the time in life. Businesses fail, relationships struggle, mistakes are made. Have fun while you do it. So, what's the point of life, you guys? The point of life is learning, it's growth, it's experience, it's gaining wisdom. The point of life isn't about getting to all of the goals being met or how all of the should be in your life. You will look at the deficiency if you focus on the end of the tunnel. But if you dance in the middle of the tunnel and embrace the process, then you will learn and you'll get exactly what God wants you to get. So do your best, believe in yourself, and have fun. Thanks, guys. We'll see you.